Hey guys, welcome back to another Origins TCG deck guide. Today we're going to be looking at the Merlin and Spellcast deck. So this deck is really unique and cool because, like the name suggests, it's half full of spells. And the other interesting fact is that it only has cards that do 1 or 2 damage, other than Merlin, who also only does 3. So on paper, not a lot of power here, but really what you're trying to do is play around Queen of the Night and Glinda and Obliterate. So Obliterate's kind of like the end game, destroy or deal 10 damage to any character or barrier. So it's a lot of times how you're going to end up finishing the game. And then what Glinda does is when you play a spell, she gives all your allies 1 attack. And Queen of the Night, when you play a spell and she's out on the field, she does 2 damage to the opponent's barrier. So really, you're playing for these 2 cards mostly, whether that's playing King Shahryar so to increase your odds of drawing him, or playing Reinforcements Blind Mice to cover the field as much as you can. And then with Merlin, you're duplicating spells so that they get more value, and the spells get more value, of course. Because what Merlin does is similar to Mulan. He repeats something, but Mulan obviously does the on reveals, and he does the first spell you play each round. And then with his prophecy, it's basically the one-time use of that same ability. So that's what the deck looks like. For me, I really like using the Merlin abilities on Reinforcements and Piggy Bank just to... well, with Reinforcements, you do it so that you can cover the board more, and then with Piggy Bank, you do it so that you can get yourself closer to that Obliterate. But let's go ahead and hop into a game and see kind of how to pilot the deck. Alright, so here's what our starting hand looks like. I do kind of want to keep Merlin and Glinda, but these other 2 I definitely want to get rid of because A, I'm not going to use Obliterate anytime soon, and B, obviously need a character to use early. So perfect, we got Yuki-onna here, so that will give me my freeze spell, which will help once I can play Glinda, and it's just something to play round 1. So probably start with her. And then she's evil, so that's a perfect zone for her. Give her Death Touch, because a lot of times she doesn't do enough damage to actually kill someone, so it's nice to give her Death Touch for free. Alright. Now, a lot of times I don't love using King Shahryar because you do have to discard any cards you draw. In this situation, I think I will play him just because I don't have a ton of cards I really want to put on the board other than Glinda. So I do kind of need that extra card draw. Honestly, it's nice to just ensure that you have Glinda, but getting her out early isn't super valuable because it's hard to play her and someone else at the same time. Now, I'm okay with throwing away Axe Throw. That's not too good. And let's see what else I've got. Problem is, I don't want to put Yuki-onna here because my hand's getting too big, and she's got the on reveal. But I do want to utilize that at some point to get a bunch of freezes. But what I'll start with is actually using Merlin's Prophecy and Piggy Bank. That way, for the rest of the game, I'll get 2 extra mana, and also he's not threatening me at all, so I'm able to kind of take a loan out in a sense here, because I'm not getting super strong this round, but this allows me to get stronger in the future. Alright, so they got Cheshire out. So yeah, I'm still ahead by 1 damage here. Actually, I won't be because of the double attack, but that's kind of when you want to use that ability or that spell, is when you know you can kind of get away with using it while not taking too much damage. So now that I've got a bunch of mana, what I'm going to do is play Yuki-onna here, and then I'm going to play Glinda here, and then I will freeze him. That way, Yuki-onna will kill him without dying herself, and then get the double attack. And then by playing the freeze, I will activate Glinda's ability and buff them up as well, so we'll do a little bit of extra damage. Unfortunately, he's going to get himself some more cards by Alibaba double attacking here, but I'm in a pretty good spot, so I'm not too worried about it. I did not use my Yuki-onna over here to get those freezes, but I've got a decent amount of spells already, so I'm not too worried about that. Don't really want to throw away my 3 blind mice, so I'll definitely use that. I want to make use of my Glinda while she's alive, and I do reveal first, so I'm not worried about her dying too soon here. I don't want to play over here because then my good cards can just get death touched by something simple that's just evil. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do this, and that way, of course, again, Glinda will buff everyone up. Merlin's going to double this, even though, actually, we'll see if it works, but since there's no one to freeze, it might not work, or no one extra to freeze. But I'm just trying to, obviously, get as much value out of these spells here, buff these guys up as much as I can. And then since he's frozen, the Blind Mice will kill him and then do the damage again.
Good footwork.
All right, so it fails, so that he's not able to get that double buff there, but that's okay. We're still looking pretty good here. Middle zone's getting low, but we've done much more damage on the other side, and then unfortunately, since the Blind Mouse didn't actually get that second bit of damage, that ended up not going through. What I'll do here, since I want to not throw this away, he does reveal first. So I'm going to go ahead and do this again, and hopefully when he reveals, I mean, surely he'll play another character, and then that axe throw will target him, so I'll get both those Glindas to buff all my characters twice, and then, oh wait, sorry, before I do that, I'll actually put Queen of the Night out, probably over here, actually, but over here, and I might be able to just win this round by axe throwing, because they'll double it, and we'll get a bunch of damage across the board, and Queen of the Night's ability will go through, so that's kind of the goal with this deck, is just get as much value as possible by having multiple Glindas out. It makes it easy, and then Merlin duplicating the spells. It kind of just results in a crazy amount of buffs and like free damage. So really interesting deck if you can get it going. I think King Shahryar will, yeah, definitely kill Kanga here. Which will be nice. I actually might not even need that because Merlin's gonna double it, but maybe it'll go after the monkey. Yep, there we go. I think Queen of the Night is supposed to do damage there. She only did it once. That could be a bug, because I did double axe throw with the Merlin thing. But yeah, that's kind of an example of how to play that deck as I finish up this game here. You can see it can kind of get out of hand if the opponent doesn't deal with it early. You end up just buffing all your cards and making them really hard to deal with for pretty cheap. And then it's really hard to block like Queen of the Night damage. So yeah, it's a really fun deck. For me, it's a little feast or famine in that if you don't get the right combination of cards, it can be hard to turn a game around. There's not a ton of utility, and sometimes you end up having to like waste certain cards just to survive for a little bit, and then once you finally do get your like Glinda, for example, you don't have any more cards left to like buff, so it can be hard to juggle, and then you end up sometimes just having a handful of spells that aren't super useful. So I think it's one of the harder decks to make work, but when it does work, it can be really fun, and you can just get a bunch of super strong characters. And so that was an example of the Merlin Spellcast deck, kind of what you're looking for in a game, how you're trying to use your cards efficiently to do the most damage. So yeah, thanks for watching that one, and be sure to check in next time. We'll do the Death deck. That one's a lot of fun as well, just a little sneak peek. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.